else. Hello, hello, and welcome to Sunday Night Fire. I am so excited to be tuning in for this Sunday Night Fire. I believe that tonight is going to really give us some insight and some wisdom about something that we go through all the time. And, I like dealing with topics that everybody is not readily addressing and talking about because I believe that those things are what allows us to learn and to hear and to move forward. So hello and welcome. If you are new to me, my name is Dr. Elisa Harney, and I'm excited to operate really in apostolic authority as I do these Sunday night fires. I believe that it is important that we hear a very clear, intentional, direct, purposeful word of the Lord. I believe that it is very important that we get strategies, not just to help us in the supernatural, but to help us in our everyday life. Hey, I see y'all joining. And thank you guys that are joining and popping on. Make sure that you guys are tagging somebody, telling them, jump on. It is Sunday Night Fire, and we're going to light it up this Sunday night. I get to do this once a month. And so I'm so excited to begin to share this word. And my prayer and my hope is that when I come in and do these Sunday Night Fires, we are able to tap into something that's going to take us into out of our now into our next, that it's going to give us practical insight and wisdom that is kingdom wisdom, and that it's biblically based, and it's faith founded, and it's prophetically produced, and not just stuff we pull out the air because we want to tell somebody something that makes them feel good, right? And so I'm so excited. I've been having a lot going on. I got fussed at today. I haven't been live or even really social in a while. I think I took the last week or so away from social media. I think that's important sometimes to reset, but also to focus on things that you are really trying to move forward in, to really focus on things that you're trying to fortify yourself in. And so it's always good that we have discipline as we steward our time, as we steward our emotions, as we steward our capacity. It is always mindful, and it's wise to be mindful of yourself, of your capacity. And so I see more of you guys that are joining. Thank you all so much. I see y'all tagging folks. You are definitely welcome to text them, tag them, put them in a group, and say, hey, jump on, it's Sunday Night Fire. And I believe that this particular segment is going to be maybe a little bit sobering, but I believe that it's going to be some practical insight. Tonight, I was not led to come in and give us something that was going to stir us up emotionally, but to give us something that was going to settle and establish us so that we can be fortified. One of the things about fortification is that we become steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. And a lot of times, what I've noticed is that the enemy will do things so that we feel unbalanced, so that we feel unstable, so that we feel insecure, so that we feel as though we are all over the place. And so tonight, I wanted to jump in out of obedience and give us some words that I believe will encourage us. So hello again and welcome, y'all. Make sure that y'all telling people. I didn't even know that until yesterday. Like, oh my goodness, are we today? Actually, are we coming up to Sunday Night Fire? Let me jump on and do this. And so I know I've just thrown the algorithm all off with this because I'm not staying in my regular vein. But what I believe is that whoever's supposed to hear this word, whoever is supposed to get this impartation, this wisdom, is gonna get it. And if that's you, somebody in the comments say, this is for me, because I want to make sure that I'm talking to the right. This is for me, right? Tonight we're going to deal with a subject that I believe we all grapple and wrestle with. Maybe we're not so forthcoming with talking about it, but the truth of the matter is we're all wrestling with it. And so I believe that. Thank you guys that are saying it's for me. Listen, it's for me too. Can I just be honest? It's for me too. And I want to deal with something that I don't hear people talking a lot about. And I want to talk about dealing with disappointment, dealing with disappointment. And I want to lean into this because it is something that we are all going through, we are all dealing with, we are all experiencing in our lives. But hey, y'all, but I don't really see a lot of people actually giving us practical biblical insight about what to do when we come to these places. I know that we have folks that like to show their best foot on social media, or it's very easy to be blindsided and feel like people out here living their best life and they never have a bad day, and they out here going higher and higher, and you out here sinking lower and lower, and you're saying, what in the world is happening? This is not what I expected. This is not what I thought it was going to be. This is not how I thought this was going to end up. This is not actually what I wanted. And so tonight, we've got to deal with the reality. We are not exempt from the realities of life. And so we have to find, when we come to these places, what do I do? How do I do I get to a place where I'm fortified once again? How do I get to a place where I'm functional once again? How do I get to a place where I get my faith back once again? And so tonight, if for nothing else, I believe that this topic is going to help us be fortified. We're going to deal with disappointment. I see y'all tag your folks, tell them to get in on this one, because this is a real thing that we're going to talk about tonight, dealing with disappointment. And we know how to celebrate, and we know how to get excited, and we know how to get our expectations up, and we know how to be prayerful, and we know how to be hopeful. But have we been taught a practical biblical way to deal with disappointment? Have we actually gotten the time to break it down and somebody tell us the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and stop perpetrating for social media that I'm dealing with something and I'm not happy about it? I'm in a place, and this is not actually, I'm making do with what I have. I'm doing the best with the hands that were dealt, but this ain't what I wanted. This is not really what I thought that it was going to be. And so tonight, I can't even get an amen in the corner, but tonight we're going to deal with disappointments. Disappointments is a thing that will come up in our lives, and it can be sometimes crippling. It can be sometimes so crippling to the fact that we almost don't want to move on. Disappointment is something that we all have to deal with. Everybody deals with disappointment. There is a place in all of our lives where we are not where we want to be, or we thought something was going to be that was not. Hey, I see y'all. And we thought that it was going to be one thing, and it turned out to be something else. We're disappointed because of people in our lives. They did not do what they said they were going to do. We're disappointed sometimes because we feel as though God did not release or render to us what we felt like was our due diligence. And so we have to tell the truth about disappointment. We have to be honest about the fact that we are in a place sometimes, and things are not all howdy, and things are not all on the up and up, and everybody ain't out here making six figures, and everybody ain't out here booking all the clients, and everybody ain't out here, going on vacation every month, and everybody ain't out here living the luxury soft girl life, and everybody ain't out here booed up, and everybody ain't out here having the best marriage and the best circumstances. We have to be honest with ourselves and the people that we are connected to say, hey, the truth of the matter is I'm disappointed. Yeah, when you know the truth, the Bible says it makes you free. It brings you into a place where you're able to get a revelation because you're able to tell the truth. And we're saying we have to be honest to say the truth can't make me free. I always say before the truth can make you free, you've got to discover what lie is holding you hostage. And sometimes we tell these lies because we're trying to hype ourselves up. Sometimes we're telling these lies because we think that we're encouraging ourselves by building these false narratives, and we're saying things like, I'm good, everything is cool. No, you're not good, and ain't nothing cool. Everything is hot. It's fire all around. This is not, I just listen, I made my bed, so I'm just it's gonna be what it's gonna be. No, that's not the truth. I just need some truth sayers in the house. No, y'all can put that on somebody else, but not me. I'm not gonna sit here and build this facade and try and come at people in a way, because if we don't tell the truth, if we don't discover the lie that's holding us hostage, how how are we going to be delivered out of this place? How are we going to get some practical insight to move forward? How are we going to know how to manage it? Because just as sure as it comes around one time, it comes around again. I just need us to have the truth. I call it Sunday Night Fire for a reason, because it's lit, right? We just got to tell the truth. Just as sure as it comes around once, guess what? It makes another visit. It knocks on your door. And when you least expect it, when you least suspect it, disappointment will show up just as sure as you feel like, you know what? It's going to come. It's funny because the last time that I was on social media, like I said, I took a week or so off, but the last time that I went live, I dealt with a topic called It's a Trap. If you did not get to watch that, man, you should go find it. I think I did it at the end of August. And I said, I sensed that as we're closing this month out, I decided that August was the month of resolve, the month where we decided to make some decisions and bring some conclusions to the matter. And so as I ended last month, I ended it with a live that I called It's a Trap. And I said the enemy is trying to get your focus. He's trying to steal your momentum. He's trying to get you away from your purpose. And it's a trap. He's trying to set you up. And I remembered on that live, I was praying that God was able to open our eyes, the eyes of our understanding, and reveal every plot, every plan, every premeditated ploy against our purpose, and that he was going to reveal some things and make some things clear. Can I tell y'all something? I have to be careful. You have to be careful when you out here quoting scripture and saying what thus saith the Lord, because it'll come knock at your door. And if I'm honest, because this is how I believe that the way that we're blessed, the way that we're able to move forward is when somebody comes and tells the truth. The truth of the matter is, just as sure as I spoke it, it showed up at my door. I'm talking about it's a trap. I started dealing with stuff coming all out the woodwork from the left and the right. I mean, the enemy showed up, and I knew it. I was grateful. I was so grateful that the Lord had already given me prophetic insight and told me, hey, this is a trap. Whatever is about to happen, the enemy is trying to steal your focus. Whatever is about to be right there around the corner, the enemy's trying to set you up. He's trying to get you to curse God and die. He's trying to get you to forfeit your future. He's trying to get you to lay down your Holy Ghost and pick up something else. And so I had to remember, wait a minute, it's a trap. But now unto him who is able to keep us from falling. And so I had to shift, and I had to say, wait a minute, but we sent forth the winds of reinforcement to make sure that we were not going to fall. We sent forth angelic assistance to go before us and to make crooked ways straight. And we began to plead the blood of Jesus so that it became a barrier and a barricade, right? And so as I was dealing with It's a Trap, if you did not get to watch it, I think it's available on YouTube and Facebook and all of these social medias. I want you to go back. Yeah, I'm going to leave this up so that you guys can hear it again. But as I begin to deal with It's a Trap, I began to come into September, and I remember that the Lord gave me a word. I put this picture up where I was at this building, and there was this humongous butterfly that was mounted in the ceiling, and it was gorgeous. It was huge. And I remember I took a picture standing up under it, and I remember feeling so insignificant. I remember feeling so small up under this huge butterfly, and I posted the picture of it on my social media on September the 1st. And I remember saying that here we are in this new month, and there's a promise hanging over our head. Man, I'm trying not to run, but I just need to prophesy to you real quick. There's a promise hanging over your head. There's a promise hanging over your head. And I remember saying that in this month of September, I was excited, not because my birthday closes this month out, but because there's a promise hanging over my head. And I remember saying, I want you to be mindful as this promise is hanging over your head. Don't let anybody push you into a premature birth. Be mindful that you're able to discern between midwives and murderers. Be mindful that you are making room for that you've prepared for, what you've prayed for, because there's a promise that's hanging on over your head. And so as I began to release that word on September 1st, and I was standing under this humongous butterfly, the Lord began to remind me that you're seeing the butterfly in the totality of who it's going going to be, but you never thought about that you might be standing under the promise in its premature stage. You might be standing under the promise and it's still in a cocoon. You might be standing under your promise and it's still a caterpillar that's not that attractive. But what we have to understand is one thing we know and two things for sure: a promise is a promise. I don't care if my promise is in its caterpillar stage, it's still a promise. I don't care if my promise is in its cocooning stage, it's still a promise. I don't care if my promise is in its molting stage, it's still a promise. And a promise is hanging over your head. I decree that over you tonight. There's a promise hanging over your head. And it's funny because it seemed as though as soon as I released that word, as soon as I declared that there was a promise hanging over my head, I started recognizing that there became these crazy things that start showing up in my life. Craziness. I started like stuff that I would never have thought about started showing up. I couldn't understand what it. I finally got a promise hanging over my head. I'm finally focused. I finally know what I'm called to do in the totality of it. I finally got, put my hands to the plow. Probably finally got myself together to say, you know what, I'm gonna run on and see what the end gonna be. And as soon as I made the declaration, you can see my post on September the 1st. As soon as I declare that there was a promise hanging over my head, I'm telling you, with the promise always comes a problem. I hope I'm helping y'all. I said to y'all when I did the last live that I did that was called It's a Trap, I said, as soon as you get a new perspective, the enemy begins to get a new directive. I'm just going to say that for y'all in the back. And y'all make sure y'all sharing this with somebody. I said, as soon as you get new perspective, hell decides to issue a new directive. They start saying, he think he about to do this. Well, here's the new order. She thinks she about to be this. Well, we going to send out a new order. As soon as you get a new perspective, hell all of a sudden gets a new perspective. Hell starts deciding, yeah, I'm going to mess you up. I'm going to get you off focus. I'm going to make sure that you get down so low, it look like up to you. I'm going to make sure that you're so oppressed and depressed that you don't go after what you had fire, but now you feel like a failure. Who am I talking to on this Sunday night fire? And so as soon as I issued that, as soon as I declared that there was a promise hanging over our head, I remember I started dealing with issues. I remember that I started going, what is happening here? What is people I don't even talk to? I'm watching things happen. Stuff starts erupting in my life. It started catching me off guard. I was not prepared for the warfare. I was not prepared for the betrayal. Man, I hope I'm helping somebody. I was not prepared for pettiness. I was not prepared for jealousy. I was not prepared for attacks that were waging against me when I decided I'm going this way. I felt as though what is happening, this is not what I thought. These are not who I thought. This is not who I thought. I did not think that it was going to turn out like that. And one of the things that I always do is when stuff starts coming my way, I think the enemy should know me by now. When he starts hitting me with his best shots, he start thinking that I'm going to pull back, because that's what I used to do. I used to tuck tail and run. I used to get on my bed of emotional affliction and just say, y'all leave me to die. I'm just going to curl up and I'm just going to, but not today, not this one. I've been through too much, and there's a promise. I hope I'm stirring you up, hanging over your head. And I started saying the devil is a lie. There's a promise hanging over my head. And just as sure as I put my hand to the plow, I'm not going to look back, but I'm going to stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. The enemy has been punking some of us too long. The enemy has been making us be cowards too long. Usually because we're afraid we're afraid for a little backlog. We don't like the whiplash, because we have to snatch our hand. We don't like the lies, and we don't like the culprits of contention. But I've just decided, baby, I sounded like David. Teach my hands to war and teach my fingers to fight. See, I know how to fight in the spirit. See, I know how to war in the spirit. I know how to contend. And so I said to the enemy, hit me with your best shot. because that's what you're doing anyway. So I might as well not act like you ain't coming for me, like you're not coming for my promise, not that you're not coming for my purpose, that you're not coming for my potential. But you better be ready to fight. You better be laced up and ready, because this time ain't last time. Man, I know that was improper English, but somebody who don't mind throwing it out like this, out of say into the atmosphere, this time ain't last time. See, last time I let you have that. See, last time I was just quiet and I kept my head down. But there's a Bible of scripture that says, you know what? For so long I kept quiet. I was quiet and I let myself be silent. But like a woman in travail, oh no, I'm about to open up my mouth, because there's a promise hanging over my head. I'm not, this time ain't that last time. No, who you thought you knew, that's not who you know anymore. This time ain't last time. And so whatever you thought I was going to do, whatever you thought I was going to say, not this time. I hope I'm helping y'all tonight. Not this time. Not that you messed around and dealt with somebody that's fortified in their faith. You messed around and met with somebody who has decided, I mean, Jesus all the way. You found out that I've made a decision that come hell or high water, if you slay me, yet still I will follow. And so I think this time, yeah. They can't, I used to watch Rambo. My dad used to have us watching Rambo. And I remember that there was a movie called First Blood. And Rambo said, see, I didn't have nothing against you, but you drew first blood. See, I wasn't even going to put myself out there like that, but you drew first blood. So let me help you. This time ain't like the last time. And so I'm telling you, I had to get like David and said, Father, teach my hands to war and teach my fingers how to fight, because this ain't that. Right now, y'all got me all off my message for tonight. I felt something I needed to release in the atmosphere, because no, we ain't going out like that. No, we ain't tucking tail and running this time. No, the enemy ain't about to wreak havoc. No, we gonna fight. Yeah. Somebody ought to encourage themselves. Yeah, I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight, because it's time that I fought for myself. It's time that I fought for my promise. It's time that I fought for my future. It's time that I fought for the thing that God has put. We have this treasure in earthen vessel, and there's a gift on the inside of me, and I'm going to fight to make sure I keep it. I'm going to fight to make sure I don't lose it. No, not this time. This time ain't last time. Not this time. I'm going to fight. Yeah. I'm gonna fight. The Duke's up, baby. I'm going to fight. Okay. I just needed to encourage, because some of y'all was about to throw in the towel. And so I want to deal with this. Thank you all that are joining and are continuing to share this live with somebody. Tag them in, because I believe that this is going to bless us. That was my intro to the message, right? And y'all got me excited. And then that was my intro. But I need us to know that the last message that I came on to teach had to do with, hey, it's a trap. And so as I began to deal with things that started happening to me, I just remember on these last couple of weeks, I have just been dealing with disappointment. Again, people won't tell us the truth. They'll act like everything is good. Oh, child, I knew they was gonna do that. I didn't trust them. No. If we honest, there are some things we did not see coming. If we're honest, that we didn't know they would do us like that. We would think we were the last people in the world. And I'm talking about, this isn't just one situation. On every side, I literally have been dealing with disappointment in every area, personally and professionally and spiritually. And it's just everywhere. I'm going, what in the world is happening? And so I said to the Lord, I said, I don't want to just talk about it. I want to be about it. So teach me, how do we deal with this thing called disappointment? Because if it's going to keep showing up in our life, then you need to give us a strategy. What do we deal with? How do we deal with this? And I believe that this strategy that I'm going to give you to deal with disappointment, man, I believe that if you take this word, it's going to shift the very trajectory of your life. Now let's begin with something, because again, I told you, when you know the truth, it makes you free. But you got to figure out what lie is holding you hostage, right? And so I was dealing with this, and I said, God, give me a strategy, a supernatural strategy. Help us understand this thing, because it's gonna come back again. It's gonna come around again. I've been teaching lately on the negative feedback loop, and I've been teaching on how there is an external trigger. Something happens, and then our mind start thinking about it, and then our body starts responding to it. And next thing you know, we're in this perpetual cycle of perpetuity. We're saying, why aren't I getting any anywhere? Why aren't I going to the next level? Because usually what happens is we go out there for something. We say, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to say it. I'm going to be it. And then there is some type of dissonance. There is some type of offense. And then all of a sudden we get quiet. We pull back. We shut down and say, you know what? I knew it. I knew it, or I didn't know it, and it just knocked me off. And so we get silent. We get still. We stop. And when we do that, now there is a deficit in our lives, and that cycle starts all back over. And until we can get a strategy that is biblically based, that is prophetically produced, that is fortified in our faith, then we'll keep going through this cycle. But tonight, I believe that dealing with disappointment for this Sunday Night Fire is going to give us what we need to shift over to the next level. So what is disappointment? If you just really get it down to its bare bones. Wait, let me just ask, is this helping y'all tonight? Is this something that, throw a number one in the comment section if this is what y'all need tonight? I want to make sure that I'm talking to the few hundred of you guys that are on here, that this is just right for you in this season. So you can just throw a number one in the comments to let me know. If you hadn't said anything since you've been here all night, throw this number one in so that I know that I'm talking to the right people. I'm looking in the comment section. I see y'all on here, so y'all might as well say something in the comments if this is for you, right? We're going to